The day my brother, Dominic, arrived at the orphanage to claim me, my boyfriend, Ethan, coldly spat a warning. "If you acknowledge them, we're over." I knew his pride ran deep. His inability to accept class disparities profound. For him, I bravely abandoned the family reunion just within reach. For decades thereafter, I toiled relentlessly, saving every penny to propel him to success. Before I reached 50, I lay dying in a hospital bed, ravaged by years of overwork. On the television, Ethan, freshly crowned with the highest research award, tearfully thanked another woman. For years, I felt unworthy, as if I could never measure up to Ms. Felicity Sterling. Today, with this award, I can finally begin to articulate a love decades overdue. The Ms. Felicity Sterling he spoke of was the fake heiress, swapped with me at birth. The camera zoomed out, showing a perfectly preserved Felicity Sterling blushingly accepting the trophy. "Though I've waited decades for you, matters of marriage still need my brother's blessing." Of course, Dominic, now the head of the Sterling family, watched her, his eyes brimming with a doting affection mixed with a hidden current of emotion. Handing me over to our uncle's family was always to protect Felicity. My life's mission is to ensure the Sterling family's sole princess remains happy. It was then, on my deathbed, that a horrifying truth slammed into me. My seemingly selfless choice, the one I thought I'd never regret, had been a calculated trap, orchestrated by two men to protect Felicity. Consumed by rage and despair, I died, my eyes wide open. When I next awoke, I was back to the day Dominic came to claim me. I swept past the two men frowning at me, their gazes a mixture of disdain and impatience, and resolutely slid into the car. "Take me home." In this life, I swore, I would force every single person who stood in the wrong place to crawl back to the rotten mire where they belonged. "Alara, I'm telling you, if you let your vanity get the best of you and go back to being a rich girl, we're done. Save me from everyone saying I'm after your money, Miss Heiress. Ethan, may be poor, but I have my dignity." Just like in my previous life, Ethan, whose arm I had desperately clung to for advice, violently shook me off. The dull thud as my elbow hit the wall sent a jolt of pain, making me realize I was reborn. Reborn on the day Dominic came to claim me. Dominic, with his aristocratic bearing, frowned at his watch, his face a mask of indifference and impatience. "If you're not accepting, don't waste my time. It's been so many years anyway. My parents aren't really that bothered." He was clearly rushing through this formality, eager to return to Felicity. In my past life, he had deliberately used that haughty, dismissive tone, leaving me, a 22-year-old orphan, feeling not an ounce of familial warmth, only apprehension. Coupled with Ethan's threat to break up, I had rejected my birth family without even meeting my true parents. Now, listening to Ethan's impatient complaints beside me, "Alara, can you make up your own mind for once? Don't ask me about everything." I spoke, my voice firm and clear. "I accept." Two words, short and powerful, left both men stunned. Dominic frowned, as if he couldn't believe his ears. "You, what did you say?" This 22-year-old body now housed a 50-year-old soul, hardened by life's trials. In my eyes, they were merely callow youths. I met Dominic's gaze. "Didn't the family send you to pick me up? Let's go. Don't keep my parents waiting." It was only on my deathbed in my previous life that I learned Dominic wasn't my biological brother. He was merely an adopted son, brought in by my parents from a distant relative's family to accompany and protect their only daughter, Felicity. Yet, he, an adopted son, had put on such airs in front of me, their true daughter. As I moved to get into the car, Dominic, still far from the cunning old fox he would become, instinctively glanced at Ethan, his eyes filled with silent reproach for Ethan's failure. They had indeed known each other all along. These two seemingly unrelated men had conspired to ruin my entire life for the sake of a fake heiress. The next second, Ethan violently grabbed my arm. "Alara, are you crazy? Stepping your muddy shoes into $1 million luxury car? If you scratch it, can you afford to pay? Don't let your emotions get the best of you and cause trouble. I won't be cleaning up your mess." I was adopted by my nana from Maplewood and named Alara. My family and Ethan's were both struggling in our small town, but he always acted superior, just because my affection had granted him that privilege. I loved Ethan, following him like a shadow since childhood. He excelled academically, came from poverty but refused to be humbled, and never once called me the stray. After Nana passed, he became my sole anchor in the world. Despite both of us getting into high school, I dropped out to work and fund his tuition. When he said city kids found famous tutors, I risked my life climbing 30 miles of treacherous mountain roads to gather rare medicinal herbs from cliff edges, borrowing money to pay for his classes. It wasn't until I lay in that hospital bed in my previous life, watching Ethan, then nearing 60, blush as he reminisced about meeting Felicity at a tutoring class. I was insecure and poor then, but she never looked down on me. I'd never seen such a wonderful girl. In that moment, I decided I would spend my entire life trying to catch up to her. The back I broke, desperately struggling on the cliff's edge, had become their stepping stone, a bridge to their affair. He could trample my love, but he had no right to use it to destroy my life. Seeing Ethan's young face again, all that remained in my heart was disgust. "The car is here specifically for me. If I don't get in, who else will snatch my place?" Ethan hadn't anticipated my sharp retort. His eyes widened, his throat bobbed, his face flushed as he strained to conjure a few sarcastic remarks. "Alara, are you really that greedy for money? They abandoned you for all these years and didn't care. Now they just casually remember to ask, and you're already fawning over them. So spineless, so shameless." In my past life, he habitually used such accusations, such crushing words. If Ethan had questioned me like that before, I would have been consumed by shame, convinced I had indeed done something wrong. But I had already endured a lifetime of hardship. On dreary rainy days, every aching twisted joint screamed at me, "Why did you give up a golden opportunity within reach, just to suffer pointlessly for a man who didn't deserve it?" I coldly shook off his hand. "Ethan, whether I'm fawning or not, The Sterling family is my home, and my family matters are none of your business, outsider. With that, I didn't spare him another glance and got straight into the car. From Dominic's disapproving gaze, Ethan, unwilling to accept defeat, shouted from outside the car. Alara, I'm giving you one last chance. Get out right now. Otherwise, we're over. And look at yourself. No class, no education. How can you be a Sterling heiress? When you get kicked out, don't come crawling back to me for another chance. I simply closed the window, blocking out his curses, and calmly instructed the driver without any hint of subservience. Please take me home to my parents. Despite knowing the Sterlings were wealthy, seeing the sprawling villa and luxury cars before me still left me stunned. Dominic sneered, dismissing my uncouth reaction. This villa was a gift from the family to Felicity when she turned 18. Felicity's 18th birthday gift was an entire villa, while on my 18th birthday, my hands were raw from washing dishes in murky restaurant sinks, earning money to support Dominic through his crucial final year of high school. Felicity always said she was a little princess, so the entire design mimics a European castle. Dominic's lips curved into a smile as he recalled the memory, but the moment he caught sight of me, his face returned to cold indifference. Ms. Vance, since you've chosen to come back, as the future heir of Sterling Enterprises, I still have a few words for you. Felicity had shown no aptitude for academics or business since childhood. Dominic, however, had entered the company early. Though no one had ever officially promised him the position, he clearly already considered himself the crown prince. While you do share a bloodline with our family, perhaps as your boyfriend said, Mom and Dad only remembered you on a whim. But Felicity is different. She grew up in this house since she was a baby. She has always been our family's little princess. Felicity was also swapped at birth. She wouldn't know anything about it. She is innocent. She owes you nothing. Each arrogant word pierced my ears. I looked up at him. Thank you. Dominic's eyebrow twitched, clearly confused. But I was already striding forward. Thank you for telling me all this. Now I know everything that should have been mine. In my past life, after rejecting my birth family, I had actually wanted to secretly visit the Sterlings, not for wealth or glory, but just to know where I came from. But Dominic had stopped me at the gate. Ms. Vance, you decided to reject your family for a man. Your parents are utterly disappointed in you. Coming back to bother us now is simply pathetic and undignified. You've missed your chance. Please leave immediately. After all, our entire family doesn't wish for Felicity to be disturbed. She's about to have her birthday, and she doesn't know you exist. Ms. Vance, I ask you to be a kind person and not hurt my sister.